Hey everyone, we're doing a live action segment. See, do you like my little YouTuber background here? It's nice, right? I'm your host, Alph, and this is my Nintendo Switch. I was lucky enough to get this bad boy day one, March 3rd, 2017, and I will never forget that day. I love my Switch, but these things obviously can't last forever. See, look, the kickstand on mine is already broken, hence the tape. Seriously though, I've been thinking a lot lately about what sort of console could possibly follow up the Switch. The Switch revolutionized and perfected so many things, but it definitely has a lot of flaws. It's also just inevitably going to be replaced by whatever console Nintendo comes up with next. New systems are always very exciting, and that's what I'm going to be talking about today. My friends, I will now pitch to you my idea for Nintendo's next console. To begin building this new system, let's look at two things. What was the Switch really good at, and what areas was it lacking in? Let's start with the former. I think the Switch's main appeal, the area it excelled in, was simply being the Switch. The ability to have a home console that you can just pick up and take with you as a handheld is genius. And with the multiplayer potential of detachable Joy-Cons and everything, that's all fantastic. This model is working out very well for Nintendo, so I think they really like the idea of making home console handheld hybrids. As for areas where the Switch struggled, a lot of that comes down to the hardware itself. Most infamously, the Joy-Cons are not very durable in the long term. I've been one of the lucky few to miraculously avoid any sort of drift, but fixing this issue is still a must. Also, I don't exactly love the form factor of the Joy-Cons. Maybe that's controversial, but they still feel kind of small to me and substantially less comfortable than a Pro controller. The last issue I have isn't with the Switch, but rather with the idea of building a new console around the idea of the Switch. A lot of people think that the Switch will be followed by a Switch 2, so to speak, but I personally think that's very unlikely. That might be a hot take, but I'll be shocked if Nintendo doesn't add some sort of flashy hook to their new system. With all of that in mind, let's build Nintendo's next console. To assemble my idea for the Switch's successor, I'll be presenting my idea with three key components. Component number one, it'll be able to do just about everything a Nintendo Switch can do. You can hook it up to the TV or pick up the system and play on the go. It'll still have the console inside the little screen, and you'll still be able to detach the controllers to use as a pair, or hand one to a friend for multiplayer. It'll even keep the USB-C plug in the bottom and be backwards compatible with all Switch games and services, why not? Everything the Switch was, so will this new system be. Component number two, let's clean up the Switch a little bit. The body itself will be a lot closer to an OLED Switch, with the new kickstand, better air vents, and all those minor improvements. The screen on the console will also finally display 1080p video, which some people will really care about. Maybe the console will even get up to like 1440p on the TV, but I'd rather just have all the games catch up to 1080p internally before we get all crazy. The Joy-Cons will also be much improved in the areas I mentioned before. Obviously no drift and stuff, but they'll be just a bit beefier too. I'm not sure how this would affect their ability to be used sideways, but I want the connected system to feel a bit more substantial, kinda like the Wii U gamepad. Whatever the case, this new system can do everything the Switch did, just better in every way. Sort of basic ideas so far, but there's more. Component number three, we finally get that big new thing. I firmly believe that Nintendo would refuse to stop at the idea of simply an improved Switch, so here's my idea to add something new and make the whole thing better. I present to you the Nintendo Cast. As I've been saying, the console itself functions just like a Switch with all the improvements I've outlined. What I've yet to mention here is the dock. Instead of a toaster that you plug your Switch into, the dock will be more like a little puck thing, sort of similar visually to this Amazon Alexa that I found. The new dock puck thing, let's just call it the duck. The duck will plug into an outlet and your TV just like a Switch dock. But unlike a Switch dock, your Nintendo Cast will simply sit on top of the duck without physically plugging into anything. It'll use the same magic, wireless, magnetic chargey technology that iPhones can use as a power source. While your Cast is in the duck, it'll also connect to the duck with NFC or Bluetooth or something to transmit a video signal to the TV. So far, this is just a cooler looking and slightly more complicated version of a Nintendo Switch dock, but here's where it gets better. Once you set your Cast onto a duck that's plugged into a TV, those two devices will automatically sync up. You can leave the two as is and grab a Pro controller if you want, or you can pick the Cast system right back up. Now that your Cast is linked to the duck, that HDMI signal can be transmitted across the room to the duck and the TV via Bluetooth. With the full system in your hands on the couch, your game is still playing on the TV thanks to its wireless connection with the duck. Now it's basically all the good stuff about the Wii U. The maps and menus of your games can be available constantly to you on the cast screen while you play on the TV, bringing back that unique convenience. And now asymmetric multiplayer can return, so we can finally play Nintendo Land 2. In my eyes, this keeps everything about the Switch while mixing back in the exciting possibilities of the Wii U. You can still totally play all of your games on the go or just on the TV if you want, and all the special features of the second screen will be totally optional in most games. You can use the Nintendo Cast just like a Switch if you want, or you can pick the thing back up and have all the exciting menu and multiplayer potential of the Wii U. The Wii U had a great premise, but the fact that the console was still a TV-plugged box that prevented handheld play brought it down a lot. It was also really pricey because the console came with the expensive gamepad, but none of those problems exist with my system. The entire Cast console is still inside of the screen component, just like a Switch, so you can totally play in handheld mode whenever you want. You can still have dual screen play just like you could on the Wii U, but now instead of a console that's plugged into your TV, this is just a wireless version of the Nintendo Switch dock. That'll keep the price pretty low while still preserving the exciting spirit of the Wii U. The Nintendo Cast, as I have presented, has almost all the perks of both a Switch and a Wii U with virtually none of their drawbacks. It carries on the pick-up-and-play legacy of the Switch while adding back in the dual-screen potential of the Wii U. It's everything I could want from Nintendo's next console. It's a total pipe dream, but I think the Nintendo Cast could be a lot of fun. Thanks for watching, guys. I really like the ideas I came up with, but please let me know what you think Nintendo's console should be down in the comments. Also, let me know how the live-action bits turned out. I think I'm pretty cringe. See you next time, and have a great day.